Lights out and away we go. Russell does get away well, as does Max Verstappen. And Valtteri Bottas has got his teammate right alongside him already. Sergio Perez is trying to challenge as George Russell goes into the first turn, and George Russell takes the lead.
According to multiple global sports sources, in 2021, there stood over 445 million viewers of Formula One worldwide, an increase of roughly 3% to the previous year. With so many fans knowing and loving this sport, a significant amount of money is required to keep things running. Today, we're going to look at the economics behind mankind's greatest races.
Okay, so how does Formula One earn money?
Well, you see, there's a couple primary ways, with the most common being things like sponsorships, broadcasting rights, and entry fees. They also make money off of things like circuit fees, fines, and one lesser known option is premium clubs, like the Paddock Club, which allows certain fans of the sport to gain premium access to different F1 design services. Okay, so when it comes to TV broadcasting rights, what exactly does that entail for this sport specifically?
Currently, there are 112 TV broadcasters around the world that carry Formula One content, and the biggest one is Sky Sports in the UK. So Sky Sports, which is basically the equivalent of ESPN in the United Kingdom, paid €1 billion for exclusive F1 broadcasting rights. Another main source of the income from Formula One is circuit fees. Contrary to common belief, Formula One does not pay F1 circuits to race there. These circuits actually pay Formula One. And the reason why is because these circuits are actually largely funded by the local government. Getting Formula One to race at a city not only increases tourism at that city, which increases spending, which increases city GDP. On average, circuits pay €24 million just for F1 to race there. However, there are some tracks that do not have to pay a circuit fee because of their historical presence in F1. These tracks include Silverstone in the Great Britain, Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, Monza in Italy, and Monaco in Monaco. F1, which means that these circuits don't necessarily have to pay as much. That is what we call price elasticity of demand. Another revenue stream for F1 is from sponsors. And yes, sponsors actually sponsor the entire sport instead of sponsoring just one individual team or one individual driver. Some of the biggest sponsors of Formula One include Rolex, Heineken, and DHL. Rolex paid $327 million to be F1's official timekeeper, and Heineken just signed a $250 million deal to become the global beer partner of Formula One.
Formula One offers its sponsors many benefits that teams are sometimes unable to provide. Many unique benefits, in fact. For example, the title rights to a Grand Prix, they certainly are the only ones that can do that, or the naming rights to awards such as the DHL Fastest Pit Stop. And Pirelli Pole Position Award.
Pole position, mate. Pole position.
Additionally, Formula One has control over both in-person and television perspectives on the race and can integrate sponsors into different digital visualizations.
For example, on F1 TV, the car performance analysis, reaction time analysis, and striking distance analysis are all powered by AWS, Amazon Web Services. Now that we're done talking about Formula One in general, let's talk about teams, because as we know, a sport cannot exist without its teams. So let's take a look at how Formula One teams can generate their revenue. The first way that Formula One teams make money is prize money from FOM, which is the governing body of F1. There are 5 columns to the prize money. Column 1, Column 2, OST, which is long-standing team, CCB, which is Constructors Champion Bonus, and other. Every single team receives C1, which is basically $36 million paid to every single team to keep them in the sport every year. Column 2 is based on how well a team performed in the last year's championship. For example, Mercedes won the title, so they bagged $61 million, and Williams finished last, so they got $13 million. And then you have the OST, which is the long-standing team bonus. And only one team qualified for this, and that team is Ferrari, because they have participated in every single F1 season that there is. Moving on, we have the CCB Constructors Champion Bonus. 4 teams apply to this: Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, and McLaren, because they have won in the past. We then have the other column, which is $10 million paid to Williams because they used to be able to win and now they suck, and F1 feels bad for them, so there's $10 million for them. Moving on, still in the other column, we have the $35 million paid to Red Bull because they signed the Concord Agreement in 2013, agreeing to stay in the sport for more than 10 years. And lastly, still in the other column, we have Mercedes being paid $35 million because they fulfilled their promise of getting 2 back-to-back championships. Here's how that turned out.
Not 1 championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Hey.
So yeah, LeBron was definitely not referring to the Heat when he said that. He was probably referring to the Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 team. And then we have, of course, sponsors. Again. And of course, we cannot talk motor racing without talking fuel.
Fuel and lubricant companies. Their sponsorship's a no-brainer. They're the most integral and likely sponsors of motorsport. Companies like Shell, Mobil 1, and Total always have and will always likely remain a part of the Formula One sponsorship lineup forever. This is because the services and products they provide are just so integral to Formula One functioning. And without fuel, cars aren't racing. And without lubricant, parts aren't functioning. And so they can partner with Formula One and the different teams to hopefully make the pinnacle of motorsport go even higher and create even more efficient vehicles, faster races, and more exciting memories. In the past, what was likely the largest category of sponsors for Formula One would have to be the tobacco industry. With a market of higher-end viewers, we're talking about Formula One here, over half of which used to be over the age of 35, many brands spend a large portion of their marketing budget on Formula One, affording to become title sponsors of multiple teams. For example, Ferrari Marlboro. And they actually were kicked out because they were banned by the EU and then eventually by other nations, who said that tobacco could not sponsor an event of this sort. And so nowadays, through what you could argue is illegal means, most certainly they're risky, some companies still partner with brands like Ferrari and almost indirectly promote their products. You can see here a picture of Ferrari's Marlboro sponsorship in which they didn't list the name because of course it was banned, but instead they used the design when at high speeds it was evident that there was the sponsorship and the logo was present for Marlboro cigarettes.
After taking a look at the biggest sponsors in the past, let's take a look at the biggest sponsors right now. Right now, the biggest sponsor is Oracle for Red Bull Racing,
Petronas for Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team, and Shell for Ferrari. These are all title sponsors, which is why their logo is the largest on the car. But then we also have smaller sponsors, such as Mobil, Bybit, and Tezos for Red Bull. And then we have Santander, AWS, and Snapdragon for Ferrari. While some of these deals are big, such as the deal between Oracle and Red Bull that weighed in at 575 million US dollars, and some of these deals are small, they still play an integral part to the creation of an F1 team. F1 and F1 teams cannot exist without these sponsors.
Now, as we all know, a sport is nothing without its players, and in this case, those are the racers. And their salaries can really range from anything between $500,000 and up to 40 to 50 million. And this is because of a couple main factors. The first one being their skill. Obviously, the more experienced they are, the more of a name they have for themselves in the sport, the more they're going to get paid automatically. And that really goes with any sport industry. You can see this compared to soccer, American football, baseball, really anything. And another reason that they're paid so much is because of risk, because these racers are going at such extreme speeds that they're putting their life on the line every time they step in the cockpit. But the final reason that they are actually being paid so much is because of economic value. Each player holds a unique economic value, and depending on their likeness and the reputation they've garnered for themselves, they can generate more attention for the team and its sponsors and eventually lead the team to victory.